Well, on to the details now. Israel reopened the Sole crossing on the northern edge of the Gaza Strip on Wednesday. With this, Israeli military is allowing 8 trucks to pass through the Erez checkpoint. The Erez crossing was destroyed during the October Hamas attack and remained closed since then. Israel announced it would reopen the crossing last month, a few days after Israeli airstrikes killed the humanitarian workers delivering food aid in Gaza. The Israeli government reopened the additional crossing point on the same day that U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, where he urged more aid deliveries into the territory. He, along with Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, also visited the Kerem Shalom aid crossing and got the first up-close view of the Gaza Strip. Blinken also visited an aid inspection point in Israel during his 7th visit to Israel since October 7th attack. Speaking to media persons, Blinken said progress on improving humanitarian access to Gaza was real, but it needed to be accelerated.
The progress is real, but given the need, given the immense need in Gaza, it needs to be accelerated, it needs to be sustained. And as we focus on all of the necessary inputs, the number of trucks that are moving, what matters the most is the impact.
Blinken also told reporters that Israel has made important compromises over a proposal for a deal that would see hostages released in exchange for a ceasefire, but it was up to Hamas to take that deal.
Israel has made very important compromises in the proposal that's on the table, demonstrating its desire and willingness to get this agreement and get it done. Now, as we've been saying, it's on Hamas. Hamas has to decide whether it will take this deal and actually advance the situation for the people that it purports to care about in Gaza. There is no time for delay. There's no time for further haggling. The deal is there. They should take it.
While reiterating U.S. stand on Rafah, the U.S. Secretary of State said that Washington will not support such an offensive.
On Rafah itself, look, our position is clear. It hasn't changed. It won't change. We will not support a major military operation in Rafah absent an effective plan to make sure that civilians are not harmed. And no, we have not seen such a plan.
Also, the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Wednesday made a brief stop at Kibbutz Nir Oz in southern Israel, where Hamas terrorists attacked on October 7, killing dozens of residents and kidnapping others. During his visit, accompanied by Israeli Defense Minister, Blinken went to the heavily damaged home of an American-Israeli family, all of whom, including 5-year-old twins, were killed in the assault. And U.S. President Joe Biden's administration faced renewed pressure on Wednesday from his fellow Democrats to influence Israel not to launch a full-scale military operation in Rafah. 57 of the 212 Democrats in the House of Representatives signed a letter calling on the administration to take every possible measure to dissuade Netanyahu's government from military operation in the city near the Egyptian border. In the letter, Democrats urged Biden to invoke existing law and policy to immediately withhold certain offensive military aid to the Israeli government, including aid sourced from legislation already signed into law, in order to preempt a full-scale operation on Rafah. Meanwhile, India has also once again reiterated its commitment to support a two-state solution where the Palestinian people are able to live freely in an independent country with due regard to the security needs of Israel. Delivering an address at the United Nations General Assembly meeting on Gaza, India's permanent representative to the United Nations, Ruchira Kambot, said that India's position on the conflict has been clear and has been stated on several occasions.
The ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas has led to a large-scale loss of civilian lives, especially women and children, and a humanitarian crisis which is simply unacceptable. We have strongly condemned the deaths of civilians in the conflict. Only a two-state solution achieved through direct and meaningful negotiations between both sides on final status issues will deliver an enduring peace. India is committed to supporting a two-state solution where the Palestinian people are able to live freely in an independent country within secure borders with due regard to the security needs of Israel.
And updates on Russia-Ukraine conflict now. Thick smoke was seen rising from a fire inside a postal depot in the Ukrainian port of Odessa on Thursday. A Russian ballistic missile was reported to have struck the facility, injuring 14 people. The video posted by Odessa's mayor, Hennady Trukhanov, showed billowing clouds of smoke rising as firefighters trained their horses on areas still ablaze. Most of the area appeared to have been reduced to a burnt debris. Odessa is a frequent target of Russian attacks and missiles. And Ukrainian artillery servicemen fighting in the country's east said they didn't have enough shells to counter Russian attacks as they waited for U.S. military aid to arrive. The soldiers serving in the 148th Artillery Brigade talked about irregular shell supply and insufficient rotation to get rest from front-line fighting. Earlier NATO Chief Jens Stoltenberg said the flow of arms and ammunition would now increase as the U.S. Congress have approved a Ukraine aid package worth more than $60 billion. And in the ongoing discourse on women's rights in America, the conversation around abortion access has become a pivotal issue, with recent legislative changes sparking debates and discussions across the nation. Let's take a look at Sujata Lochab's report on the issue.
In a world where women's rights are a crucial part of the ongoing conversation, recent legislative changes in the states of Arizona and Florida have brought forth new discussions on reproductive rights and empowerment. 21 states in the US currently have restrictions on abortion, with some states enforcing stricter laws following the overturning of the Roe v. Wade decision in 2022. Roe v. Wade, which governed reproductive rights for nearly half a century until the Supreme Court overturned the decision. In some states, the fight over abortion access is still taking place in courtrooms, where advocates have sued to block restrictions and bans, whereas some other states have moved to expand access to abortion by adding legal protections. In Arizona, the state legislature made a significant move by voting to repeal a long-standing 1864 ban on nearly all abortions, showcasing a shift towards greater reproductive autonomy. This repeal, championed by Governor Katie Hobbs and supported by bipartisan efforts, signifies a step towards providing women with greater autonomy over their reproductive choices. On the other hand, Florida enforced a ban on abortions after about 6 weeks of pregnancy following a ruling by the state Supreme Court, a time frame before many women realize they are pregnant. It also said a ballot measure legalizing abortion until viability could be voted on this November, which could benefit Democrats in an election where abortion is a top issue nationwide.
Starting this morning, women in Florida became subject to an abortion ban so extreme it applies before many women even know they are pregnant, which, by the way, tells us the extremists who wrote this ban either don't know how a woman's body works or they simply don't care.
6-week ban, the heartbeat bill, as it's been called, is fantastic. I mean, it got bipartisan support.
I'm here because abortion has hurt me, and I certainly don't want to see other women hurt by abortion. They walk in the door and they never come out the same. No matter how they try to go on with life as normal, they'll never be the same.
It's sad. It's bleak.
Despite this, advocacy groups and lawmakers are trying to safeguard women's rights and ensure access to safe and legal reproductive health care in the state. As America grapples with the complexities of abortion rights and women's advocacy, the narrative is not only about legislative changes but also about the larger pursuit of gender, equality and empowerment. Sujata Lochab, DD India.
And some weather-related updates now. Desperate families continue their search for loved ones still missing after devastating floods swept through central Kenya this week, killing at least 48 people. Across Kenya, floods and landslides have killed 181 since March. Kenyans living in low-lying areas are asked to evacuate as heavier than usual rainfall is expected to persist. Soldiers have been deployed to aid search efforts. Also in Brazil, 10 people died and 21 are missing due to heavy rains this week in southern part. Over 1,400 people are displaced so far. The officials predict a flooding risk across the entire state given the prospect of prolonged downpour in the coming days. The government is working to locate the missing and ensure safety in areas at risk. In China, the death toll from an expressway collapse in southern China has risen to 36. Record rains and flooding in the past 2 weeks in parts of Guangdong province led to the incident that caused over 20 vehicles to become trapped. Heavy rains caused a stretch of road running from Mizhou city towards Dabu County to cave in on Wednesday. In Nepal, the situation of forest fires in the Himalayan nation is getting worse day by day as prolonged dry season continues to ignite wildfires. Currently, around 165 wildfires are being reported across 39 districts. With no forecast of immediate rain, forest fires are likely to continue further. Moreover, India too is witnessing rising temperatures in the eastern and southern regions. The Weather Department has issued warnings for the next 5 days and said maximum temperatures are likely to hover between 44 degrees centigrade and 47 degrees centigrade. The IMD also forecasted a possibility of fairly widespread rainfall or snowfall over several northeastern states. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. DD India correspondents track the poll pulse of voters across the country. We'll tell you about the Tea tribe community, which comprises a major share of the workforce of Assam. And US anti-doping agency slams World Anti-Doping Agency for half-truths in China doping case.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Kuran, and moving on, let's get you the latest of the world's largest democratic election in India. Well, campaigning has intensified as the third phase of general elections is just 5 days away on the 7th of May. Leaders from various political parties are leaving no stone unturned to appeal to the voters to come out in large numbers and exercise their franchise. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a public meeting in Gujarat's Anand. PM Modi will also address public meetings in Surendranagar, Junagadh and Jamnagar later in the day. India's Home Minister and senior BJP leader Amit Shah will also address multiple election rallies in North India's Uttar Pradesh. Bharatiya Janata Party National President JP Nadda is also holding public meetings in Bihar, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. While Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath will address public meetings in Uttar Pradesh's Itaha and Firozabad, he will also hold a roadshow in Mainpuri. Meanwhile, leaders of opposition parties are also holding rallies and public meetings to garner support in favour of their party candidate. Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi will address public meetings in Chirimiri and Korba district of Chhattisgarh. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge will address a public rally in Karnataka's Shimoga on Thursday. Also, Congress leader Sachin Pilot will address public rallies in Sarangarh, Semartal village and Bilaspur in Chhattisgarh. Rashtriya Janata Dal's Tejaswi Yadav will hold election campaign in Uttar Pradesh's Hasanpur, Bihar, Samastipur and Araria. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's wife, Sunita Kejriwal, will also address public meetings in Gujarat's Bharuch and Bhavnagar. And the process of filing nomination papers for India's general polls is also underway. Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan will file nomination from Odisha Sambalpur Lok Sabha seat on Thursday. While BJP candidate from West Delhi, Kamaljeet Sehrewal, will file nomination papers for the 25th of May polls. A nomination process is also underway in Odisha for State Assembly polls. State Chief Minister and Biju Janata Dal President Naveen Patnaik filed his nomination papers from the Kanta Banji Assembly seat. Naveen Patnaik is contesting the Assembly elections from Kanta Banji and Hinjali Assembly seats. The Assembly elections will be held in Odisha in 4 phases from May 13 to June 1st, along with the Lok Sabha elections. And Assam gears up for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections unfolding in 3 phases. The focus intensifies on the tea garden workers. A significant voter base poised to influence the outcomes. They yearn for a life of dignity, grappling with the harsh realities of poverty, inadequate healthcare and education. There's more in this report by correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya.
Amidst the electoral fervour, political parties are actively courting the support of the tea workers in Kokrajhar, a move that underscores their potential to sway the electoral result in this region, giving them a major say in the general election. But what exactly do they want? Let's find out in this special report. As Assam prepares for the 2024 general elections, the spotlight falls upon tea garden workers whose voices carry the weight of history and the promise of change. In Kokrajhar's tea estates, the hopes and dreams of a community hinges on these poles.
We need hospitals, schools and better roads. We need better life.
Amidst the political fervour that sweeps through the tea gardens, the focus shifts to the aspirations of the tea tribe community. For them, it is not just about politics, it's about survival, dignity and a better tomorrow. Meet Sadhini Lohar. She is facing the toughest challenge of her life after losing her husband, and now she is left to raise her 2 children all on her own. Poverty is a constant companion here, making every day a struggle to meet ends meet.
We need toilet, drinking water, better roads and proper sanitation facilities.
We don't have proper water connectivity here. Need basic facilities.
Wages, health, education. These are more than just promises written on paper. Every day as they labor under the unforgiving sun and earn a mere rupees 250 a day, poverty is a harsh reality that they grapple with each moment.
I need good school for my kids. Also, there is a problem with water supply. And I don't have a home. I earn only 250 rupees a day. It is not enough to run a household with so little money.
Sanitation remains a distant dream. Clean water, a luxury, and hygiene, a constant struggle. Yet, amidst these challenges, there is hope. Hope of a new tomorrow. The tea estates workers' plea for essential amenities reflect their aspiration for a dignified life beyond poverty. This general election, they want their voices to be heard for a meaningful change and a brighter future. With camera person Naveen, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India from Kokrajhar Tea Estate in Assam.
Well, ahead of the third phase of general elections, politics has intensified in Madhya Pradesh also, where 9 seats are going to polls on the 7th of May. Among the key seats in the state is Vidisha, from where former Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan is contesting the polls. Here's a report by DD India correspondent Akshay Dongre on the political battle of Vidisha.
The Great Stupa at Sachi, one of the oldest stone structures in India, dating back to over 2000 years. The Udaygiri caves of the Gupta period from the 3rd century CE, containing some of the oldest surviving Hindu temples and iconography in India. These are some of the many treasures that Vidisha in Madhya Pradesh holds. The historic city goes to polls in the third phase of the 2024 Indian general elections. BJP has fielded Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the longest serving chief minister of the state. Chauhan says people of Madhya Pradesh will vote for him once again because of his previous works.
This is my family. This is not about politicians or the public. We will help in building a developed India, the development and the welfare of the people, and especially we will leave no stone unturned in empowering our sisters to move forward.
The Indian National Congress has fielded Pratap Bhanu Sharma against Chauhan. Sharma says that not enough has been done by the government in the last 3 decades.
What should we say, what the people of the region are saying? One's face does not become big by beating drums, or by publicity, or by getting photos published in newspaper.
The people of Vidisha say that while the constituency has seen a major transformation, a lot more is required to be done in terms of generating employment and utilizing the potential of the region.
A lot of development has happened. Roads have been built, but we need more employment generation in the region.
There is a development, but inflation is a major concern.
We just spoke to Shivraj Singh Chauhan, former Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, who is also a candidate from Vidisha Lok Sabha constituency. He has been a member of parliament for 5 terms and a Chief Minister for 18 years, one of the tallest figure in the politics of Madhya Pradesh. Once again, going for polls in the Lok Sabha election from Vidisha constituencies. It remains to be seen that whether this love will also translate into votes and whether a new record will be made in Vidisha Lok Sabha constituency. With camera person Ramakant Sharma, Akshay Dongre, DD India.
You're watching DD India, and time now for some sports news. In IPL, Punjab Kings beat Chennai Super Kings by 7 wickets on a Wednesday to keep their slim playoff hopes alive in the Indian Premier League 2024. Chasing a target of 163, Johnny Bairstow's 46 off 30 and Relly Rossiov's 43 off 23 helped PBKS reach home in 17.5 overs. Earlier, Ruturaj Gaikwad posed 62 off 48 to lead CSK to 162 for 7 after getting an invitation to bat first. Meanwhile, Sunrisers Hyderabad will look to reignite against informed Rajasthan Royals in the 50th match of the session today. Despite their impressive performances earlier in the season, SRH have slipped to 5th position on the points table following consecutive losses against RCB and CSK. And Ashmita Chaliha-led young Indian team went down 0-3 against Japan in a tough Uber Cup quarter-final tie, the Chengdu, on Thursday. The young Indian women's team showed enough promise and prowess for the future as they finished their campaign against the former champions. In the opening singles, Ashmita Chaliha lost to world number 11 Aya Ohori. Meanwhile, national champions Priya Konjin-Bam and Shruti Mishra lost to the world number 4 pair of Nami Matsuyama and Chiharu Shida. But in the absence of all the experienced campaigners, yet making it to the last 8 stage with 2 convincing wins over Canada and Singapore is a huge shot in the arm for the young women's contingent. And the US Anti-Doping Agency criticized the World Anti-Doping Agency on Wednesday for doubling down on half-truths after the global body published a document outlining its handling of a case involving Chinese swimmers. WADA has been under fire since the New York Times reported last month that 23 Chinese swimmers were tested positive for primetime ahead of the Tokyo Games in 2021, but were allowed to compete after being cleared by a Chinese inquiry. WADA said last week that it would launch an independent review over its handling of the case amid a widespread backlash. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.